What's up, ESO community? Coming back with another Werewolf PvP build for the Deadlands DLC. This build offers great sustain, overall decent damage, and just overall hybridization or good hybrid ability or hybrid capability. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to it. We're going to go and get armor checks, the armor enchantments, the traits, the class, the race recommendations, and the champion points, and everything else in between. Alright, let's get to it. Your first, the foods that I recommend, and try potions and all that I recommend is Bewitched Sugar Skulls. This is obvious. It gives you health recovery, max mag, and max stam. And Artaeum Takeaway Broth is another option, but you will lose out on max mag. And same thing would be applied on Packleader's Bone Broth, but which is not really great of a food in my opinion, or drink. And if you don't have any of those, then just go with basic basic purple food. Obviously, Crown Tri Restoration Potions work, and normal base Tri Essence of Health Tripods. And you do need to tech pots because Night Blades will be annoying. You run immovables as well, but I don't have any on me at the moment. But that's something to try out. Now, for the first set, is going to be Eternal Vigor. It's going to give you Magicka, Stam Recovery, and Health Recovery. And then it's going to give you, the last piece is going to give you a lot of Stam Recovery and Mag Recovery while your health is above 50%. And then adds 1000 Health Recovery while your health is 50% or less. Now, the downside of this set is when you do go below 50%, you lose your recoveries. But with the other set it's compared with, that's not going to be the case. You're going to be able to hold it. Or at least be able to keep above the amount you need. Now, you need an Earnhold. It's just because it's going to increase your overall damage tooltip values, stuff like that. But axe, sword, mace, dagger, none of that matters in Werewolf. Just the trait and the enchantment are poisons. None of that carries over. So use whatever you want, or use whatever you can, or whatever you have. Now, I have a shield. People always ask me why do I run one-handed shield. It's just for my preferred method. I've always been using it, and I just get build ultimate quicker, especially with heroic slash. But you can run dual wield if you like. If you do that, make sure you have a sharpened offhand for pen. Now, and a shot glyph on it, or without poisons, whatever you want on there. So you want Tri-Stat Hakijo or Max Stam enchant, but typically Tri-Stat will be your recommended here. Because Werewolf is a hybrid, it's well balanced, so you need to be able to have mag, health, and stamina. Just because the way Werewolf works is your heal scales off the health, and your heal costs Magicka, and then you use stamina for your attacks. Alright, so, and impenetrable, because you need crit resistance, because monster has crit now, everything crits. So, make sure you have a decent amount of impen, or critical resistance. Your back bar is going to be an Asylum Greatsword. This is a no-brainer. If you watch any of my Werewolf builds, you know why I run this. But basically, you attack a low-health enemy, you will get ultimate back really quickly, under 25%. But you got to slot the Execute or Executioner on your back bar to get it, or on the same bar where this weapon's on. Very simple to use. Now, the mythic items, you can pretty much use any mythic you want with this build. It'll work really fine, even the newer mythics. But Gaze of this will make it probably the tankiest and overall best sustain. But Torgo Constancy or Shapeshifter Chain, Death Dealer's Feet, even that other one that just came out that increases your light attacks, you can run that one as well. Whatever one you want, it's up to you. But set this as recommended for me, or at least the best for me right now, because it gives you max health, which will increase your healing, and then gives you health recovery, which will increase your overall recovery for health, and then adds armor, make you tankier. But the downside is you can't block. Well, you can block, you just won't get the mitigation for it. But same thing applies. You want to put a Tri-Stat Hakijo, it increases your Magicka, health, and stam, and then impenetrable. Now, the second set is very vital, I feel, which is the Wretched Vitality set. The first piece gives you mag, third piece gives you stamina recovery, fourth item gives you weapon damage and spell damage. While in combat, applying a major buff or debuff to a target grants you 260 mag recovery and stam recovery for 15 seconds. While in combat, applying a minor buff are debuffed to a target grants you 130 magicka and Stam for 15 seconds. Very simple to do in werewolf form. The way to proc it is to do the werewolf fear, which is also a major buff, and a minor together, so it's breach. And then another way to do it is proc it with your infectious claws. Your claw, but you have to use Claws of Anguish. Claws of Anguish gives you major defile and minor defile now, so keep that in mind. All you got to do is just apply the claws, and your recovery will start stacking. Very, very good set for this patch. Run these two sets together, your basically will be unkillable if you know how to play, obviously. If you play like an idiot, yeah, you will die. But anyway, the shoulder is Tomahawk, just increase my max stam and max mag, but you can pretty much run any shoulder you like, even that new recovery shoulder, which I don't have yet, but it's another option you can try, even will push your recoveries a little bit further. I have light and medium. I have a medium bracers and a light sash, just for overall, because one light piece will increase your pen value a little bit, and then this will increase your weapon damage a little bit. But if you don't have this, then just go full heavy for the most benefit for heals. But everything applies. Tri-stat Hakijos, all impen. Now for jewelry, I have Triune, just like a tri-stat enchant. Increases my max health, max stam, and max mag. But you can also run infused here if you like. You could run increased weapon damage or mag recovery for more mag sustain. It's up to you. But I got I got 2 Triune, 1 infused for mag recovery, or you could put weapon damage here. It's up to you. Whatever you want. But it's pretty common that I usually run Triune or infused on my stuff. That's pretty much the build, or at least the armor sets that are involved, and the enchantments and everything else with that. But let's go ahead and get into my character sheet. If you look at the recoveries, the health recovery and the stam recovery are a pretty decent place. I'm not fully buffed, obviously, and I'm not proccing my set, but if I was, you'll notice the recovery shoot up pretty high. The mundus that I recommend is the warrior, but you can pretty much run anything you like. Run the mag recovery, the max stam, the max health. It's up to you. But I need a little more damage on the build, because I don't want to just be full tank or full sustain and not be able to kill anybody. But, yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over why I choose a Stam Sorc Imperial. So, the reason that you want to be a Stam Sorc, if you're an experienced player, you already know this, but Unholy Knowledge reduces the cost of your abilities. It means your block, roll, dodge, werewolf heal, all that. So by 6%, which is really, really good. Which will stack with the Imperial passive, which is another 6%, which will be 12% altogether. And then you have another one. After blocking an attack, your next health, magicka, or stamina ability costs 15% less. So all you gotta do is block, and it'll be 12% stacked to 15%. And you heal, very cheap. Another one is Power Stone, which reduces the cost of your ultimate abilities by 15%, so it makes it easier to get to werewolf quicker. Plus stack with 6% from Imperial, which will be 20-something, 21%. So, yeah. Keep that in mind. And then you got Storm Calling, which would be also increase your mag recovery by 10%, increase your physical and shock damage by 5%, and then Amplitude increases your damage against higher health players. The more health they have, by 10%, you will do more damage to them. Keep it in mind. Another reason why we run Heavy Armor Werewolf is because you need all these passives just synergize best with the hybridization of Werewolf. A lot of people want to run Medium Wolf, which I highly do not recommend this for PvP. You're just way too squishy. No healing, no heavy attack ability on the Werewolf, which is very, very important. This will increase your healing, and this one will increase your heavy attack. You need that stamina back with those heavies. Medium armor does not really offer that. Yes, you will get stamina back, but not as much as you need. Especially when you have the heavy attack and roll dodge, heavy attack, roll dodge, and keep that up, or chamber your combinations as well. Juggernaut will also increase your health, so therefore you'll have more healing. And then this will be increase your recoveries, so your sustain as well. And then this just increases your armor. Alright, so the Undaunted passives carry over in Werewolf as well, which will increase your max resources, which if you can see. Right here, Undaunted Metal. And this one just gives you resources back when you activate a synergy. Your Assault carries over as well, and your support, well, some of your support passives, like Combat Medic or Resurrecting People. Alright, so Imperial offers max health, which will increase your healing done as a werewolf. So, and then max stamina because you use stamina abilities to attack, and then overall sustain. Which is just so well balanced in a werewolf. Yes, you can run Orc, Dark Elf, Nord, those ones work as well. Dark Elf's more DPS but squishier, a little more magicka though. Orc is faster, give you health when you do light attacks. Or just attacks, you'll get health back. And then you got Nord, which is tankier and gives you ult regeneration. But Imperial is just kind of the solid choice because it just kind of benefits all those as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it on the regular Sorc skills. Now, Werewolf is a little bit more different, Werewolf form itself. So, you know, we'll buff up and everything like that. But I definitely need to go over the Sorc skills real quick. I forgot to do that. Sorry about that. But Hurricane, this just increases your resistances, increase your movement speed, and then it also does a little bit of damage in AoE. I run Race Against Time now, which increases my movement speed by 30% and critical damage, and I also hate being snared, so yeah, that's why I also use this as well. Dark Deal, this is a basic Sorc ability. You need this to keep your stam back, just keep your stam up, and it's basically infinite sustain, especially with the ability you have on. Heroic Slash, get your ultimate back quickly, and then Vigor, obviously a normal heal. Your back bar is going to be Dizzy, Swing, Bound Ornaments. I just put that on there because I was missing out a little bit on max stam on the back bar. Ball of Lightning. You're not really going to be killing anybody in this build in human form, or keep in mind, that's why you don't get to werewolf form. Ball of Lightning, you just kind of escape people when you're basically being crowded. And then Executioner, because you're on an asylum to get ult back quickly. Rally, this is a small heal, and it also gives weapon brutality buff. And then Dawnbreaker, but you can pretty much put anything you want on the back bar, it doesn't matter. That's pretty much it on the Sorc abilities now. So let's go over the werewolf stuff real quick. And then we're going to get to the champion points after. Okay, so the first one is Brutal Pounce. This is just the overall best one in my opinion. Feral Pounce is alright. It gives you a little bit of timer back. Especially probably better on the Berserker in my opinion. But Brutal Pounce is the way to go. Increases your damage. So when you jump on 6 people one time, you'll get 600 weapon damage. But if you jumped on one person 6 times, same thing applies. You'll get up to 600 weapon damage. But only lasts for 10 seconds. But you also have to proc the Carnage effect when you leap on them. And it's also an execute as well. Not a super strong one, but it's an execute. Hircine's Fortitude. This is your heal. So if you're at full health, you will restore 3,000 stamina. But while having this slotted, you gain Major Brutality at all times, so keep that in mind. Deafening Roar, this will just nerf their, this basically will nerf their resistances as well, and also gives you Major Savagery, increasing your weapon critical. And then Howl of Agony, this is your spammable. This is going to allow you to burst people down, so you fear them into a heavy howl combo, followed by Infectious Claws, which will defile their heals. Keep that in mind. And then obviously Packleader, this will just make you tankier, and Werewolf form will last longer. Because the Dire Wolves are proccing the Call of the Pack passive. And like I said, when you play a Werewolf, your passives will carry over. Like these passives here. Call of the Pack, which will increase your timer in Werewolf form by Dire Wolf or Werewolf in your group up to 80%. Savage will increase your weapon damage, and then it just gives you Major Resolve, which increases your physical and spell resistances. And then Blood Rage will keep you in Werewolf as long as you attack. And then Pursuit will scale with that Heavy Armor passive, which will increase your stamina back with heavy attacks. Alright, well that's pretty much it on that. But what I need to do real quick is show you, before I go to the champion points, I need to show y'all how this set procs real quick. Very, very simple. I'm going to show it in the character sheet, but what you do is just do this, and pop a potion, and I'm going to show you what my max resources are. Look at those recoveries. Really, 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 really crazy. Almost 3Ks. Now, it probably will be 3K if you put on champion points as well. That's what matters. So let me go ahead and get out of combat so I can show you my champion points real quick. So champion points really matter as well, because if your champion points are put in the wrong place, you will notice either you'll be too squishy or you will have too much armor and not be able to kill anything. So you need to make sure you have a balance in your champion points. So the champion points that I recommend is going to be Mastered Arms, which will increase your direct attacks by 10%, and Deadly Aim. So you'll stack these together, will equal up to 20%. Run Enduring Resolve, which will give you a damage reduction of 10% from overtime abilities, and then Duelist Rebuff, which will reduce your damage taken by single target attack by 2%. You can also run Ironclad, maybe if you want as well, make it a little bit tankier from direct attacks, but you don't need all that. Just make sure you have a balance between damage and defense. Alright, also on the red tree, which matters as well. You'll need Peace of Mind, which will increase your recoveries while under the crowd controlled effect, which will bump up those recoveries up to almost 3K, plus stacked on Sustained Suffering as well. Run Pain's Refuge, which will reduce your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects. So every time you get 2 negative effects on you, it starts stacking up to 20%. And then Relentlessness, so when you get feared, you get Mage Protection, which reduces your damage taken by 10%. So you don't have to run that if you don't want to. You can run Survival Instinct as well, if you like. So when afflicted with a status effect, your core abilities will cost 5% less. There's so many different ways you could run this, but this is pretty much what I have currently on the Stam Sorc. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Stam Sorc Werewolf build for the Deadlands DLC. Very, very powerful sustain, and overall good duration in werewolf form, tankiness, good damage. It works for all situations, dueling battlegrounds, stuff like that. You could even use it in damn PvE dungeons. I wouldn't recommend it for trials because trials is all about DPS and group comp, but you get what I'm saying. That's pretty much it for the PvP build. Hope you guys enjoy it. I will show some gameplay of it as well. But anyway, peace. Alright, welcome to my Necro version of the Werewolf PvP build. So the Necro version is a little different armor sets and everything. But this is my DoT Berserker. This is for the Deadlands DLC as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over the sets and combinations that I'm running for this build, and race champion points and everything else in between. But let's go ahead and get into it. So the first set that I'm using is Plague Break. I think it got nerfed, but it got buffed in a different way. The explosion deals an additional 50% damage per enemy hit. So really nice little dot. And Roman double dot poisons to increase the dot damage increase. But anyway, you run this on Berserker and it's really nasty. Especially on Berserker Necro with double dot poisons. It will shred through people really quick if you're not careful. The back bar is Asylum. You just use this to get ultimate really quick. The mythic is Sithis. Just health, recovery, armor. Nothing there. Wretched Vitality. So when you apply a major buff or debuff, you get Magicka and stamina recovery for 15 seconds. And applying a minor buff or debuff to a target grants you 130 mag and stamina recovery for 15 seconds. One piece Malakina to buff Plague Break a little further in werewolf form. Adds 1 weapon damage, 129 weapon damage. And then my Plague Blade jewelry is blue, but I recommend at least get it purple. I do have purple jewelry, I just never straight changed or anything like that on it. But I recommend just trying to infusing everything instead of going triune and robust that I got right now. But overall, triune will work as well and robust, but keep in mind you might need a little more resources to work with. This build by no means is a super tanky Werewolf. Not with this setup, but the damage is there, especially if you want to get a lot more higher DPS in like battlegrounds and stuff like that, and you just want to be able to kill people. This build can do it for you. I already have gameplay of this build in action, but instead of me running Wretched Vitality, I was using Vigor, but I'm trying Wretched right now on it. For your shield, I recommend doing Impen. Everything should be Impen on your armor, but if you do not want to run Plague Break, another set that I recommend would be Deadlands Assassin, which will increase your weapon damage, and it will add a bleed over 14 seconds on a target, and it will, you know, dealing damage to enemy within 10 meters of you with a heavy attack causes you to throw a cone of knives, dealing whatever, but it was scaled in werewolf form, so keep in mind. But those are pretty much your two sets you can run. You could probably run Deadly as well. Deadly will increase your dots even further across the board, but this is pretty much what I have on there right now. However, if you do not want to run Plague Break or Deadlands, you can run Eternal Vigor, and pretty much run anything that I have on my pretty much the same setup I got on my Stam Sorc. You just put it on the Necro, and you can run a Berserker instead of a Packleader. It'll work just as fine, work just as well. But anyway, potions, food's very simple. Try food, Bewitch Sugar Skulls, Artane will work, but remember you have a lower mag. Normal try food purple, Packleader Bone Broth, not really that great, but I have it there just in case. And Withered Tree in. And then typically you're just normal try potions, tech pots. I don't have a lot right now, but I will eventually. But okay, so for your Mundus Stone, the Warrior, obviously to increase your proc set, the stats don't look too well, but when you've got that Wretched Vitality proccing, the recoveries are a lot higher, which I will show in a minute. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the skills. So, Beckoning Armor will give you armor, and then it will pull an enemy to you. Heroic Slash will give you ultimate, and inflict minor maim, so make it look tankier. Necrotic Potency, so basically, when you use this, this will grant you 6 ultimate and also healing you as well. So if there's a bunch of corpses on the ground, you get ultimate back really quick. So that's something to also keep in consideration. Necromancer gets ultimate back very fast. A lot faster than any class that I know of in the game. But that's why I can use a Berserker on it and get away with it, because of the timer. It's not that great on the Berserker, but on a Necromancer I can get wolf back pretty much instantly. Not instantly, but a lot faster than the other ones. Spirit Guardian will active. You take 10% of the damage you take is transferred to the spirit instead. This will also make you tankier, and also restores health. And then obviously Vigor. On your back bar, it's going to be Dizzy Swing, Race Against Time, so you don't want to get snared. Blast Bones, because I'm trying to create as much corpse as possible. I recommend running Tether instead, because it also heals you on the corpse on the ground, but I don't have that on my bar right now. Executioner, because you have Asylum, so you want to get ultimate back quickly. And then Rally for more, just a creature buff, your weapon damage and stuff like that. Now, why would you want to run a Necromancer Werewolf? The passives that you really want to look at is Rapid Rot, increase your damage done over time effect by 15%, so that'll increase your bleeds and disease damage. I also believe this one right here, Last Gas, will increase your max HP by 1,000 something, so your heals will be stronger. Then Living Death. Another thing too, when you use an ability on a corpse, you turn into an ultimate, so your ultimate's getting back really quick. And then Curse of Curse while you have a negative effect on you, your healing done is increased by 8%. So you basically are tanky and your heals are a lot stronger on a base. But that's pretty good. Pretty good in my opinion, other than the base Sorc passives and the ultimate regeneration is really quick. So it works great for werewolf type builds. For the race I recommend, obviously going to be an Imperial. Increase your max HP, max stamina, and reduce the cost of all your abilities by 6%. This is a no-brainer, just like my Sorc, and like my Sorc werewolf as well. Same thing applies. Well-balanced werewolf is a better werewolf. Its route is better. So that's pretty much it on that. But let me go ahead and show y'all my what Wretched Vitality does. I'm pretty sure I already showed you with my Sorc, but I want to show you what the stats look like when I proc out Wretched on the build. Potion, that's the stats. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, guys. You saw that 2,000 something stamina. When you pop that Wretched Vitality, it's just really nice. Really nice. Let me go ahead and Plague Break. You see it ticking. Does a bunch of damage, especially stacked with the double dot poisons. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the champion points real quick. After I get out of combat, obviously. Okay. Okay, so for champion points, very simple. Mastered Arms, Deadly Aim, Enduring Resolve, Duelist Rebuff. Mastered Arms and Deadly Aim will increase your direct damage attacks. Now, keep in mind, you could also probably run Thaumaturge, which will increase your dot damage, but I kind of want to have a lot more direct, because my dot damage will just come from my Necro passive, but you could just stack it if you like. It's up to you. And obviously the set. Enduring Resolve, which just reduces your damage taken by overtime attacks, and Duelist Rebuff. And this basically reduces direct damage as well. Now for the red Treepy, you want to run Pain's Refuge, which will reduce your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects on you, which will synergize with the Corrosive Curse on your Necro passives. And Sustained by Suffering, this will increase your recoveries when you are under the effects of a negative effect, which will also synergize with the Necro passive. Fortified, this gives you armor. I actually recommend to change that and probably run something that will increase your health further, or mitigation. But Pain's Refuge, Relentlessness, so when you're stunned or feared, you get major protection. Since Berserker doesn't have the 10%, so there's something to kind of have on your bar. So that's pretty much it. Green Tree is nothing really. The only one I really recommend in Green Tree is just the speed, really, and then the mount stuff as well. But that's pretty much it on the Necro Dot Wolf, guys. Nothing. There's not much to it. Plague Break, Deadlands, Assassins are probably your recommended sets. Are Deadly, or any other bleed set you can come up with. But that's pretty much it. Peace, guys.
Everything was taken. Pay for the loss in me. Look what it's done to me. Look what it's done to me. I'm left with a memory of what will never be. I back it up, but I see the cloud making its way to me. And I'm ready for rain, and I feel it again. I stab in my back, left me in the black. Just like you know you are. you know you are. I've got a confession. I haven't lost everything. Haven't lost. I haven't lost. I haven't lost. I've got a confession. I haven't lost everything. This is my confession. I haven't lost everything. As low as I can, there's still a glimpse of hope that gets me back up again. As much as I